Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now some other stuff is going down. In a place in Europe, we ain't going to even out them like that. But the congressman, when you're recovered, you have a status. Recovered from COVID, you have a status. You have 6 months recovery time because you still have your antibodies, right? And so, but then, the Robert Koch Institute changed it overnight to you only recovering for 3 months. You know what? But the people in Congress still have 6 months. So the people in Congress must have other lungs or something popping off that the Congress can have something different than the normal people. Right? That's just a little sidebar. Because that's, for me, that's telling you we making stuff up as we go. Right? We're going to give normal people 3 months, after recovery, then they have to get a booster. And the people that work in Congress, they have 6 months. That people are not focusing in on that shows me that something is wrong with everybody already. That don't make no damn sense. But anyway, let's get into boxing real quick. Now, the legend, the living legend is getting even bigger. And that'd be Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk is the heavyweight champion right now. He got 3 belts. Tyson Fury got the other one. But Alexander Usyk is a legend already because he's been undisputed at cruiserweight. And I know you're like, well, somebody else was undisputed. Yeah, Holyfield was undisputed at cruiserweight. He's a legend, isn't he? David Haye probably wasn't undisputed, but he was the baddest one there. He's damn near a legend, right? But I'm just saying this. The difference is Alexander Usyk never fought at home to become undisputed. He always fought, and he didn't, and not even on neutral ground either. Okay, not at home, not on neutral ground. Directly in the backyard of everybody he beat. Y'all know I like to go through it. Marco Huck at Berlin, right? Marius Briedis in Latvia. Briedis the baddest one right now. And hard punching Murat Gassiev in Russia, right? Before the tournament, he beat up Glowacki, undefeated Glowacki in Poland. He beat Michael Hunter in America. After becoming undisputed, he beat Tony Bellew in England. Then he moved up to heavyweight and beat up Chisora and Anthony Joshua in England. That's a legend, especially because of the people that we got all the high on the pound for pound that don't do stuff like this, and all the other ones that don't do nothing extra. This is a living legend. Here's another feather in his cap. Right? But I'm going to say this first. I done told you guys on many occasions, every time we get close to undisputed, something weird happens. Every single time. Because first of all, the boxing consumer, he don't want to see undisputed. Because if he sees undisputed, he can't say his guy is the best anymore. People like to just say somebody else is the best without them fighting people. So that would be off the cards. Right? It's the only sport fans in the world that never want to see the best at the end of the day. Like all the other sports that we watch, at the end we know who the best at the end of the season every time, right? Not with boxing. You can continue to say someone else. So this is just very few boxing fans are looking to see who the best is. So there we have a problem. But when we get to undisputed, there's always something. And the reason why is because somebody's scared to fight the other guy. And the other guy is probably a generational talent, right? We got undisputed. Now, we're hearing that Tyson Fury, big old 6'9", 275-pound Tyson Fury, doesn't want to fight Alexander Usyk right away for undisputed. He needs an interim fight. And think about that. Now, this is what makes it even worse. He'll take Dillian White as an interim fight. Hard punching, scary Dillian White, right? The lichen and all this stuff we be calling them, right? He'll fight him interim, but not undisputed against Alexander Usyk. And Alexander Usyk is not hard punching. And let me just tell you why I know it's weird. It's a generational talent on the end of these fights that don't happen when they're undisputed. Kambosos and Haney. And Haney feather-fisted. Kambosos ain't trying to fight Haney. Teofimo Lopez and Haney. That was going to be an undisputed fight. Teofimo didn't want to do it, right? And was able to get away with not doing it. We just seen this recently. Canelo Alvarez, Demetrius Andrade. $40 million Canelo Alvarez would have got to fight Demetrius Andrade for undisputed at 160 pounds. He just not going to do it. Demetrius Andrade is not known as a knockout artist, right? But it ain't happening. But he's a generational talent, right? Now, somebody who knock you out, Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, that undisputed fight didn't happen either. Everybody just starts acting weird. Now, here's a fight that's not undisputed, but it's a damn good fight that nobody really wanted to see. And that was Manny Pacquiao versus Terrence Crawford, right? We didn't want to see that either. But it wasn't undisputed, though, so it really doesn't count here. But it could have been. But my point is, all these undisputed fights, what are we watching boxing for if we don't want to see the best? And when you get close to undisputed, we're supposed to, like, to coin a phrase from my British brothers, you're supposed to grab it with both hands, aren't you? But we don't. Every single time undisputed comes up, there's something weird that happens. Why the hell does big old Tyson Fury don't want to fight Usyk? The money is on the table. Eddie Hearn said there's enough money on the table for Joshua to get his step aside and Dillian White to get their step aside money and shut the hell up for a minute and let undisputed happen. Tyson Fury is the one who has to have an interim fight. Again, he was doing the same thing with Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury, he was supposed to fight Deontay Wilder right an immediate rematch, and he was able to get out of the contract and go fight Otto Wilder and Tom Swartz. Right? Y'all forgot that? He breached his contract and was able to do that, and everybody was down with it. Right? Nobody said, hey man, you ducking old boy. You supposed to fight him. You breaching contract. None of that came. Nothing. Just okay with it. Wilder, you just wait somewhere. Right? That's how that happened. But he's always not doing what he would, why can't Tyson Fury, big old butt, fight little old, 6'2", just came up from cruiserweight Alexander Usyk? I'm gonna tell you something why. Because you can get embarrassed, just like you can against Andre, just like you can against Devin Haney or Terrence Crawford. And that's why it's not happening. And this is why boxing to me is a trip. And when I see a legend, I know a legend when I see one. Alexander Usyk, are we having any problems with him? It ain't going to be no negotiation problems. There's not going to be no problem of where we supposed to have a fight and it's got to be in my hometown or my people and they need to deserve this. You don't think Ukrainian fans deserve to see Alexander Usyk on the red carpet being carried out? Some Prince Nassim type of stuff? He would deserve it. But he ain't telling nobody I got to go to Ukraine and fight there, right? I ain't trying to do that right now. I'm going to beat you up and whatever. We can do the parade when I done beat up everybody and I become cruiserweight undisputed and heavyweight undisputed. Then maybe we can have a parade or something. But I'm going to beat everybody up at their house so I can become the legend. That's what's going to probably happen. Guys, for me, this is huge. Because let's be real. A Canelo Alvarez is supposed to go get 40 million and beat up Demetrius Andrade to become middleweight. Not super middleweight, nobody care about. Middleweight, a prestigious division. One of the most prestigious divisions. Middleweight champion, you were one fight away for 40 million to beat up Andrade and he's feather-fisted. Right? He ain't trying to do that. Right? Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney ain't supposed to be that good, is he? That's what some people say. Teofimo Lopez, don't he got, what was his moniker? The Takeover or something like that? Yeah, the Takeover, right? He's supposed to go beat up little old Devin Haney and become undisputed with no doubt about it. He ain't in a rush to do that. You know what I'm saying? Kambosos not really. I'm hearing this fight's gonna happen, but not really. So all these dudes are generational talents. That's why it's not happening. But at the end of the day, let's see how this goes. Let's see what kind of feedback Tyson Fury gonna get for not wanting the damn undisputed fight now against Alexander Usyk. Because for me, it just makes Usyk's legend status even more legendary. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I am up out of here, y'all.